All is under direct, exact, and perfect law. Every experience of consciousness has a former cause, and everything at the same instant is the cause of a future effect. Please continue watching for the revealed spiritual mysteries by Ascended Master Saint Germain, as recorded by Guy W. Ballard.
Welcome to Meeting the Master, from Godfré King's Unveiled Mysteries, the dominion and majesty of Ascended Master Saint Germain, Vegetarian, Part 2 of 2, on Words of Wisdom. Guy Warren Ballard was a United States mining engineer and a co-founder, together with his wife Edna Ann Wheeler Ballard, of the I Am spiritual movement, inspired by his life-changing meeting with the Ascended Master Saint Germain. One morning in 1930, Mr. Ballard, led subconsciously by his inner spiritual longing, went on a hike on beautiful Mount Shasta, a place located in the western U.S., where legend has it that a group of divine adepts reside or could be seen. His sincerity and deep longing for the truth led to a profound experience that day. He was blessed by the appearance of the beloved Master, Saint Germain. Following this enlightening encounter, Mr. Ballard devoted his life to spreading the Master's wisdom according to his capacity. From Master Saint Germain's dictation and teachings, Mr. Ballard wrote a series of books under the pseudonym Godfré King. Master Saint Germain's imparted spiritual knowledge was the basis for many lectures given by Mr. Ballard, as well as for the founding of the I Am religious activity in the early 1930s. By 1938, it had up to 1 million followers. Today, the volumes documenting the precious mysteries revealed by the Ascended Master to Godfré King are still a fascinating spiritual gem for many across the globe. The three most famous volumes are titled Unveiled Mysteries, The Magic Presence, and the I Am Discourses. Ascended Master Saint Germain is deeply venerated among the Theosophical Society, as he represents the establishment of the Aquarian Age, an era that we are privileged to be witnessing. He is also identified with the Count of Saint Germain, a mysterious European figure who possessed a great inner knowledge and was called immortal by some due to his everlasting youth. We will now continue with a selection from Guy Warren Ballard's or Godfré King's book, Unveiled Mysteries. In this book, the American truth seeker meets Master Saint Germain, who, in all his splendor and with a genuine concern for the state of humankind today, shares precious wisdom on the law of life, which brings about whatever one gives out. The Ascended Master emphasizes the humanity's need for remembering their divinity, as well as overcoming their self-created boundaries by knowing the God-self within. Excerpt from Chapter 1, Meeting the Master. Mankind in the unascended state marvel at these things, but I tell you, it is no more effort for us to change the appearance and activity of our bodies than it is for the ordinary human being to change his clothes. The unfortunate condition in human consciousness that keeps individuals in their self-created limitations is their attitude of mind, which either fears or ridicules what it does not understand, or what is still worse, in its ignorance says, that is impossible. A thing may not be probable under certain human conditions, but the God-self, which is the great light, can change all human conditions, so nothing is impossible. every individual has the divine flame of life within him, and that God part of him has dominion wherever he moves in the universe. If he, because of his own mental inertia, will not exert the necessary effort to reorder his age-old habits of mind and body, he goes on bound by the chains of his own forging. But if he chooses to know the God within himself and dares to give that God-self all control of his outer activities, he will receive the knowledge once more of his dominion over all substance, which has been his from the beginning. The time has arrived when many of humanity are rapidly awakening, and they must in some way be made to understand that they have lived again and again in hundreds, sometimes thousands of lives, each time in a new physical body. The law of re-embodiment is the activity in human growth that gives the individual an opportunity to re-establish a balance in conditions that he has consciously caused to be thrown out of balance. It is but one activity of the law of compensation, cause and effect, or what might be called an automatic balancing process governing all forces everywhere in the universe. The right understanding of this law gives one the explanation of many conditions in human experience, which otherwise seem wholly unjust. It is the only logical explanation for the infinite complexities and experiences of human creation, and reveals the operation and the law upon which all manifestation rests. It makes one know that there is no such thing as chance or accident. All is under direct, exact, and perfect law. Every experience of consciousness has a former cause, and everything at the same instant is the cause of a future effect. If a man has injured a woman in one life, he is certain to be reincarnated in a feminine form and pass through a similar experience, until he realizes and experiences that which he has caused another to endure. The same thing is true if a woman be unjust or injures a man. This is the only way by which one is compelled, or rather compels himself, to experience both the cause and effect of everything which he generates in his world. The individual can create and experience whatsoever he will in his own world, but if he chooses to do that which causes others to experience discord, then he compels himself to go through a similar condition. He understands what the effect of his own creation is upon the rest of the life of the universe. Thus does the outer life keep the individual bound to the wheel of necessity, rebirth, continued struggle, and pain until we let the light of the Christ within illumine and purify us, that we may respond only to the plan of God, love, peace, and perfection for His creation. This is the kind of lesson one never forgets, because objective teaching records the experience in the vision as well as in the mind. The record in the sight is deeper and necessarily receives more attention from the outer activity of the intellect. Man and his creations as well as nature have an etheric counterpart, a pattern which makes its eternal impression upon the atmosphere about him, wherever he goes. The pattern of the individual's activity and life experience is within his own aura all the time. Notice, he reminded me, you are experiencing these activities in your finer body, but they are nonetheless real because of that, for your physical body is only a garment which you, the self-conscious thinking and experiencing individual, wear. It is the same as though you wore a heavy overcoat in the cold winter atmosphere, and only a light suit of clothes on a very warm summer day. Experiences in your light suit of clothes would surely be no less real than those you lived through in your heavy overcoat. I call this to your attention that you may understand the fuller and less limited activities of life. There is only one way, he went on, to avoid the cosmic wheel of cause and effect, the necessity for re-embodiment, and that is through the conscious effort to comprehend the law of life. One must earnestly seek the God within, make permanent conscious contact with that inner self, and hold firmly to it in the face of every condition in the outer life. It will be my pleasure and privilege to show you more, but only for the instruction it will bring to yourself and others. I had heard the great ascended masters who could take their bodies with them wherever they go and manifest or bring into visibility anything they desire to use, direct from the universal. However, to actually experience contact with one of them was a very different thing, and I tried to realize in the full marvel of the experience. To Saint Germain, it was evidently a most ordinary occurrence. I sat in quiet contemplation for a long time in deep gratitude, trying to comprehend and fully realize his explanation of the law concerning desire. He emphasized its importance and activity as a motive power in the universe, to propel forward new ideas, compelling an expansion of consciousness to take place within the life of every individual. He had explained it by saying, "Constructive desire is the expanding activity within life, for it is only in this way that greater and greater ideas, activity, and accomplishment are pushed through into expression and in the outer world of substance and form. Within every right desire is the power of its fulfillment. Man is the Son of God. He is commanded by the Father to choose how he shall direct the life energy and what quality he wishes his fulfilled desire to express. This he must do, for free will is his birthright. It is the function of the outer activity of the intellect to guide all expansion into constructive channels. This is the purpose and duty of the outer self, to allow the great life or God energy to be used only for the gratification of the sense desires. The habit of the mass of humankind is its destructive use, and is always without any exception, followed by inharmony, weakness, failure, and destruction. The constructive use of desire is the conscious direction of its limitless God energy by wisdom. All desire directed by wisdom carries some kind of blessing to the rest of creation. All desire directed by the God within goes forth with the feeling of love and blesses always. For more information on the Ascended Master Saint Germain, the I Am Teachings, and Godfrey Ray King's books, please visit stgermainfoundation.org. Shining viewers, it was an honor to have your company for today's program entitled Meeting the Master, from Godfrey Ray King's Unveiled Mysteries, the Dominion and Majesty of Ascended Master Saint Germain, Vegetarian, Part 2 of 2, On Words of Wisdom.